here right up. We'd have enough to easily move around still. I guess if we repair some stuff, we can move again. Yeah. I think there was supposed to be a crocodile on this beach here. Maybe it's behind this part. Yeah. Swimming is fairly beneficial in this game. Because combat isn't really enabled in water and enemy AI won't follow you through deep water where they have to swim. You don't get slowed down by being overburdened when you swim, and you cannot drown if you don't dive, even if your stamina gets spent. So that's nice. So we are overburdened now, but because we are swimming, we don't really see it. I think there's a splashing crocodile animation somewhere here. Like if you get close enough, it'll show, but yeah, like that. But there's really no crocodile here, as far as I can say. It took me a bit by surprise. First time it happened, which was basically day before yesterday during the first recording session. But that's really the extent of it all. I think it's this island that's next to a hidden chest. Yeah, the L-shaped island. There's a chest somewhere in the upper left corner of I4 grid. This is this one here if the mouse cursor is shown. Huh. It dims the screen when I hover over the area that's not reachable as a character. And it's a very nice secret chest because you usually get thick leather and steel bars from it, which is insanely useful early on in the game. And even more so in a single player where it actually respawns periodically. Whereas in multiplayer it's going to be suffering from the chest glitch and not respawn unless the server resets. And you start the ghost animation by being on the shore basically. You have a ghost image swimming towards this rock here. And they're going to be killed by a ghost with a crossbow, even though I don't think crossbows are in the game yet. Or maybe they were at some point, but they were removed. And where he sinks, a chest's going to pop up. Like so. actually got that orb from this as well. Orbs are basically grenades. There's a achievement for throwing an orb. There's also an achievement for mixing orb effects by throwing 2 different kinds of orbs. And I want to get basically both achievements at one go, so I'm not going to spend that orb just yet. Unfortunately, those orbs weigh quite much. Huh, is it only 1.75 these days? I could have sworn they were 2 or 2.5 before. And we also got the Relic Hunter boots, which is actually light armor, so we're going to get an achievement from wearing this pair. But they also give us +1 survival, which is quite useless. And we got now, with the help of that flawless medium tacet, our second encumbrance perk, which is crippling effects are less severe. So now we can actually get away from hyenas even if they manage to land a hit on us. So yeah, I'm now nearing my starter base location, and we can actually really get started with the game. Also, I'm a bit overburdened, so let's craft some shit. Actually, let's just make foundations for now. And turning the resources into foundation is going to unburden us. And basically my base is going to be here. Well, starter base. That's 4 steps away, so we're going to need to make a few more. Because the base that we're going to be making is basically on stilts. And it glitched again! Damn this game. I hate when that happens. It doesn't recognize that something is actually buildable. You need to update its current condition by linking a piece next to it. It's going to prevent us from extending this foundation towards that island before we place one here and dismantle it. Wasting us resources and making us not have enough wood, is it? No, enough stone to build that foundation that cost 35. I think that's the one. That's the one. So now we can dismantle this and this one. We'll get some more stone and extend the base proper. But we're also going to need some wood. Fortunately, there are a few sources of wood close by. Far away enough that they're going to be respawning regardless of our base. But close enough to be reliable, and there's actually a boss shaleback there that we're going to be killing at some point for its head. We're also going to need some more plant fiber for when we get an armorer's bench going. If we're lucky, we might be able to get a head from an antelope. Even without a cleaver by succeeding with the hatchet. Yeah, we did. So that's an achievement. Actually, we do want to build that campfire, because we can dump our hyena for temporary storage into it, so we can actually carry actual stuff that matters. So yeah, each of these foundational pillars will support a construction of 4 steps away from it. So 1, 2, and 3, and 4 if we extend this direction by 2 additional ceiling tiles. So basically a 5 by 5 2-dimensional grid. And that's basically what I'm planning to have here. also need to build a furnace to start smelting those iron. And furnace costs 540 stone to make. Fortunately, we can have that furnace on the shore, so we don't yet have to place it inside our base. And I want to have the furnace basically now, because it's going to take a time to go through all that ironstone that we have. And 540 stones weight something like 70 weight units, but the furnace once completed only weighs 25. So when you're migrating your base, you might want to construct the furnaces from the get-go to save some carrying capacity. Actually put the dry wood in for now. It's enough for 6 minutes of smelting. Yeah, I should remind myself to always carry a light source, because YouTube might make these videos more darker when it goes through its own rendering process. That seems to be a thing that they've done in the past, at least. So not using a torch might mean that you're presenting the viewers with a basically black screen, even if you can see your surroundings on your own computer when you're recording it. Well, it should be bright enough now. There's a Black Hand pirate camp that way, with a total of 5 NPCs, and the guard is fighter type, and it's going to aggro at us when we go too close. And the Black Hand faction is more difficult than the Exile faction and the barbaric cannibal faction. So it's the third faction in difficulty. So not really that difficult, but they can drop at least iron.
Watch your flanks! Me and me mates are thick as thieves!
The main difference is the items that they use, which is basically iron, compared to the barbaric, which use bone and stone weapons usually. And the difference also matters for how much punishment they can take. And this one dropped Black Hand trousers, which is their faction armor, but it doesn't provide any stat benefits, and it weighs quite a lot, so I'm going to ignore it for now. We do want to skin you for your hide. And we'll that should be enough to get to the 140, I think. So we have 34 worth here. Basically, yeah, we should have enough for the iron pick. Let's put the steel bars here for now to help with our carry capacity problem. And did the blacksmith bench take 50 bricks as well? So that's 500 stone in a furnace to produce that many stones. Bricks. We do have almost 500 stones in our inventory now, but we might want to make another furnace with that, honestly. I don't want to destroy the iron just yet with the stone pick, because the iron pick is going to give us 3 to 4 times the iron the stone one does. There should be a pirate there somewhere, but it's usually spawns as a fighter, so it's not going to have a ranged ability, but it might shout at us with mean words. Probably need to supply more fuel into our furnace, because we have spent that 6 minutes already, I think. No. But yeah, another furnace, and let's put in 200 stone for now. 20 wood. And to get more stone we might need to do some swimming, because there's a lot of stone in the river, but it's not as easily accessible, because the harvesting animation is slower and you don't regain stamina when in water, and if you don't have any stamina you can't swing your pickaxe, and you have a breath meter going. And you can actually harvest those plants for plant fiber. It's just not a very good efficiency when you do so. We'll leave you for now, just to get some carrying capacity unlocked, and you'll run out of fuel. Put 40 wood inside. And yeah, I probably want to cut down a few trees from this island, and while we are here we are going to go and say hi to the named Exile NPC that gets killed by the white Komodo dragon on this island, because the named Exile might give us additional flawless pieces of armor, which is nice.
Taste death!
Shit. Yeah, the daggers don't always connect to these midget types. But yeah, that bleed should be quite dangerous to you. And the other Komodo is stuck on that stone, so it cannot really move, but it can defend itself. And the normal ones, I think, carry poison. The white one does not, for some reason. But with our bow damage, it's not going to really do all that much to it. So we are better off engaging in melee. Bleeding is still the best weapon at our disposal. And that should be enough to kill it. Well, he does have his own passive region. So maybe not. No, it was enough. Oh, ivory. And flawless light wrap and flawless medium gauntlet, so that's pretty good haul. And also a severed arm, which is basically trash. It can be used as a single-handed club, basically. But usually it just weighs you down. We'll equip the flawless light wrap because it improves our dodging. Well, if we equip the gauntlets, it goes back to medium, I think. Yeah, it's the same with 2 pieces of medium armor. But our encumbrance bonus is now +3 from the 2 pieces of armor that we are rocking. Unfortunately, flawless gauntlets only give +1. All the other flawless locations give +2. So even though the gauntlets are nice, it was basically the worst possible armor piece that we could have gotten. So yeah, need some more stone still to make the ceiling pieces for the base. We need enough for, is it 20? Probably 20 tiles. Only made 4 to reach that one, yeah. So yeah. Actually, it's 22, isn't it? Yeah. So how many do I have now? 5 plus 5 is 10. I need 12 more. We also need shitloads of wood, because Carpenter's bench is going to cost 400. And Armorer's bench is something like 200 maybe. Animal pen is 300, I think. We also need it for fuel for now. And of course craft the building pieces. So this is a bit of a boring part in the playthrough, or gameplay, whichever you want to call this. Playthrough implies that we're going to finish this at some point, whereas calling these gameplay videos does not imply such a thing.